Here It is a song of surrender. And that is something that we all need. And it's something that's good to say out loud. And it's something we should do together. I think when you write together, you get to learn parts of each other that you don't necessarily experience so viscerally in other contexts, which was fun for me. Because we were friends long before we were companions as writers, and I remembered that pretty specifically. First time we got in a room together. Was it Heart Abandoned?
It was Heart Abandoned.
Oh
yeah.
Gosh, I'll cry. For real. It was just, yeah, it's a...
We did cry. There were lots of tears that day.
Yeah.
Happy, good tears.
I think also though, if you're trying to write from an honest place, you end up seeing some vulnerabilities with each other that the normal context of everyday life, just at a coffee shop or something, it's harder to reach those places for some reason. So I don't know, that's maybe a piece of it.
I would agree with that. I think that's why writing this song was such an emotional experience for all four of us, for the two of us and Jacob Suter, David Leonard, is we needed to write. It was what we wanted to say, what we needed to say to God.
Yeah.
And I remember the conversation started with saying, can we just write a simple love song to God? And in a lot of ways, that's where it all started for me.
Yeah.
Like when I was, 13, 14 years old, just learning to play guitar and how to walk with Jesus. That's what it was really all about. It was just these simple love songs to God.
When I think about what this song is asking of us today, we're living in the digital age. We are living in a time, the more time we spend on our screens, the easier it is to kind of buy the lie that we somehow can manipulate and control others' perceptions of us. And that's actually the measure. We're trying to figure out how to control the world of optics. And all you have to do is kneel down at the foot of the cross, and the furious love of God just burns all that stuff away, because he's not looking for our posturing or our perceptions or the way that we present. He's looking for something that's actually much more accessible and much more available, but oftentimes a lot harder to lay down, which is our heart, right? He wants the whole thing. He wants us, how he made us. And if that letting go happens, if that laying down happens, well, God showed us the way to resurrection. You gotta surrender.
He wants me. He looks at you and me and he says, it is good. And I want you. I don't want what you can do. I don't want your productivity. I don't want what your hands can make. I want you. I just want you. And there's almost like this, the repetition in the bridge. It's almost like, literally, oh my God.
Yep.
You just want me. You look at me and you smile on my life and you say, just come as you are. I just want you. And there's a transformation that happens when we come to him like that. And it's powerful. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. So first we delight, but then our desires shift and change. And the things that were circling around our ego now look really, really small. But the things of God, the desires that are in God's heart, now become our desires, and it becomes the most fulfilling thing that we could give our lives over to. And so that's the transformation that happens when we come and we put our heart, we put our availability, we put our yes, our life on the table. The transformation that happens is good. Well, all those little things that I was chasing before, I don't want that anymore.
Yep.
I want you.
Yep.
And then we become more like him. We're transformed into his likeness. And his desires become our desires. And now we're chasing different stuff. But it's the real stuff. And I think that's the transformation that happens, you know.
Thinking about the chorus, thinking about that particular line, talking about choice, talking about, you know, it is declarative, I think. To me, it's covenantal. Like it's covenant language. It's deeply anchoring, and it's like vows, you know. It's important to say them out loud because they mean something. But in a strange way, the first time you say them is the time that you understand their meaning the least. But saying them out loud sets a covenant, sets an anchor, and as you journey, you understand their depth more and more with every day. You can say them more deeply with every day. That's how they work, I think. So this is covenantal in that sense. That's the kind of thing that God is so patiently waiting for us to say to him. Once we do, it unlocks everything. Yeah.
Well, I think you have to make the distinction first that we all worship something.
Yeah.
Like there is something at the center of our life. You know, you don't have to teach somebody what to worship. You know, we both have kids. You have a young daughter. You find out real quick that worship is in the heart of every human. they just like, you know, hyper focus on this thing. I want that thing.
Yeah.
What we're talking about here is God worship, Jesus worship. And so I think it's, you know, going back to what we were talking about earlier, you know, being 13, 14 years old and falling in love with Jesus for the first time and picking up a guitar for the first time. All I wanted to do was just sing and write and play, or even just get on my face on the floor and just worship him, because I'm experiencing his grace and his love for the first time. That's the kind of like vulnerable, honest worship that's in this song. It's putting Jesus right at the center of it all. And saying, if there was any confusion about who we're worshiping or what it is that's at the center of our worship, it's you, Jesus. Yeah. So I think to answer your question, what is like living a life of worship? It's the pursuit of Jesus.